Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Dr. Padama. This time we will be discussing data gathering techniques used in the following research methods, specifically under qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method. Aside from that, we will also be discussing in this video the different techniques, strengths, and limitations of these techniques and what are the best practices in regard to the use of data gathering techniques or these data gathering techniques. So let's start with the first part of our discussion, which is the overview of our discussion. So we will be discussing three parts to understand the different data gathering techniques used in qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method research. So stay tuned if you need to be acquainted with the following data gathering techniques for qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method. And then the next part of our agenda will be to present the strengths and limitations of each of these approach. And the last part is to discuss the best practices in collecting data effectively. Okay, to continue, data gathering by definition is the process of collecting or gathering data from various or different sources to be analyzed and interpreted. So this process involves different or various methods, examples of which are surveys, interviews, observations, and experiments to make sure that accuracy and reliability is present in the process. So basically, this is what you mean by data gathering. Data gathering is a combination of different steps that creates this process in order to gather data efficiently. So this process makes sure that whatever you are gathering is appropriate for your research. That is why you need to identify a specific data gathering technique for every type of research method. So again, each research method has an equivalent or appropriate data gathering technique that you should use. You do not just use any data gathering technique for a research that you want to conduct. It has to fit the objective of your research or the goal of your research. That is why we are having this discussion in this particular video. Okay, we are now on the qualitative research method. What particular data gathering technique can you use under qualitative research? But before we go on to the main discussion of data gathering technique, so when we talk about qualitative research, this refers to or focuses on human experiences, behaviors, and social phenomenon. Again, when you use qualitative method for your research, make sure you always bear in mind that you are focused on the concept of human experiences, behaviors, and social phenomenon. To continue, it also deals with non-numerical data as part of its characteristic qualitative research and often in the form of words, narrations. That's why it is in the form of words. Usually, the data that you will be gathering for qualitative research is in the form of words because you need to get the side of your respondents through narratives, images, or observations aside from narratives. We are now going to move on to the main discussion, which is what data gathering strategy is appropriate for qualitative research. So the number one and the most common research data gathering technique used for qualitative research is what we call interview. So as you may have known earlier based on what I have mentioned, under qualitative research, this focuses more on the experiences, behavior, and social phenomenon. So interviews are appropriate for qualitative research because you need to get, again, as I mentioned earlier, the side of your respondent through the following data gathering techniques, and one of those is what we call interviews. So you will be getting their side of the story through their narratives. So again, let us read what is included in or under interview. So interviews are conducted in structured, semi-structured, or unstructured formats. So it can be when we call when we conduct interviews, it can be a uh, pre-prepared or pre-planned set of questions, or it can be in the form of candid questioning based on what you have observed on that particular moment when you are conducting interviews. To continue, example, interviewing teachers about their experiences with online learning. This is an example application of interview that you can use in a specific situation if you are conducting a research based on the experiences of teachers while implementing, conducting, or using online learning. So this will always be part of our discussion every time we present a type of data gathering strategy or technique. After interview, as part of the data gathering strategy collection for qualitative research, another technique will be what we call the FGD, or the focus group discussion. So FGD is a type of interview but utilizes a bigger number of respondents. Before we proceed, again, I would like to remind everyone who are conducting or writing their research or their study that based on quantitative, or the comparison between quantitative and qualitative, when we talk about quantitative, the number of respondents is far greater compared to qualitative research. Again, if we are going to compare the respondents of qualitative and quantitative has a bigger, or usually a bigger, larger number compared to qualitative research. So when we talk about focus group discussions, or FGD, this is, as I said earlier, a type of interview but has a bigger number of respondents. But the number of respondents is not that big. So you will not be conducting, or you will not be seeing any FGD having 150 or even 20 participants in their FGD, or focus group discussion. So this again will be a controlled number, uh, ideally from 3 to 5 or less than 10 respondents per FGD. So let's go and dive into the definition of FGD. A small group of participants from 5 to 10, okay, or ideally less than 10, that discusses a specific topic based on the research that you are conducting, guided by a facilitator or a moderator, or in this case, the researcher. Example of this particular data gathering technique, you can implement this if you have a discussion, or if you are discussing among students about the challenges that the students have encountered when it comes to modular learning. So instead of interviewing the teacher, you want to conduct an interview of a group of students from 5 to 10, with this particular specific goal of trying to identify the challenges that the students encountered in using this particular modality, which is modular learning. So again, that is basically focus group discussion and its difference when we talk about interview. The next method under qualitative research is what we call the observation, the data gathering technique that you can also use if you are using or utilizing qualitative method, is observation. So what do we mean by observation? Researchers observe participants or immerse themselves in the environment where you are conducting your research. So in qualitative research, if you are conducting a specific tradition or culture and you want to gather data from the participants without using interview or focus group discussions, observation can be an alternative data gathering method. So again, researchers observe and immerse themselves in the environment where the participants are naturally conducting themselves or naturally doing their business, okay, as mentioned in the latter part of this sentence, in their natural setting. Okay, so there should be no interruptions, there should be no modifications in the natural setting of your respondents. All you need to do is just look at them and try to write down what you have observed based on the interactions of your respondents. So again, another example and application of this particular data gathering technique is observing classroom interactions to analyze the teaching styles of the teacher or the instructor, observing classroom interactions to analyze the teaching styles or which is the most efficient teaching styles of a teacher or an instructor. Okay, so that is what we call observation under qualitative research method. The next data gathering technique under qualitative research that you can use is what we call document analysis. Document analysis. So these are obviously specific type of documents that is already made available or readily available. These are documents that are readily available that you can examine to reinforce or strengthen your other data that you have, the other data that you have gathered. And these data or types of document that you can analyze can be the following. So number one, you can analyze transcripts of interview that you have already conducted. You can also analyze autobiographies, results of examinations, minutes from a meeting, emails, social media posts, government policies, news articles, letters to editors, court rulings, or annual reports. So again, all of these examples that I have mentioned are readily available. So this is what you mean by document analysis. So these sources of data that you will be using will be subjected to type of data analysis. So usually they use thematic encoding for this particular analysis. And also in interview and FGD, they usually implement or use thematic encoding approach for analyzing the data that they have gathered using these strategies. So, under document analysis, examining an existing text record or artifacts to extract insights aside from what you have already gathered using the other data gathering techniques, which is, if you remember, the first one is interview, second is FGD, the third is observation, and the fourth one here under qualitative is document analysis. So the application where you can use document analysis, example, analyzing lesson plans, which is already existing. This is our existing document to be analyzed. So lesson plans to evaluate curriculum effectiveness. If the lesson plan is aligned to the curriculum, so you observe or you try to analyze this existing document under document analysis. Okay, as mentioned earlier, part of our discussion will be the strengths and limitations of these data gathering techniques. These are just some of the strengths and limitations of these data gathering techniques, specifically for qualitative research methods. So what are the strengths? We are going to start with the strengths of the data gathering techniques that we've discussed. Again, these data gathering techniques will provide you the following. The first one is deep, detailed insights coming from your respondents to help reinforce the goal of your research. Another is that it captures emotions, perceptions, and experiences of your respondents. Again, these information that you will be gathering from your respondents will reinforce whatever you need to establish or discover based from the goal or objective of your research. And the last one, the under strength, is that this allows flexibility in collecting data. So moving on to the limitations of data gathering under qualitative research is that it is both time consuming, labor extensive, and also financial strain will set in together with the element of time and labor, the financial element will always be a part of this particular type of data gathering technique. So you have to consider these elements or these factors. The next one is that these data gathering techniques are prone to research bias. Definitely, if you are going to analyze the data, the narratives that you have gathered, the analysis will include your personal opinion or perception on the subject that is being discussed. So definitely, you will be inclined, or there is a part or a factor of your personal opinion that will be included in the analysis or during the analysis of the data that you have gathered. The last one is that this will be difficult to generalize findings. It will be very difficult to generalize findings because this is subjective and prone to bias. Therefore, generalization will be very hard to establish when using these data gathering techniques. On to the next type of data gathering techniques, but this time it will be under the quantitative research method. So, by definition, again, data gathering in quantitative research is or focuses on numerical data, gathering of numerical data, and the use of statistical analysis in order to analyze these numerical data. It aims to measure relationships, patterns, and trends objectively, which is the opposite of qualitative, which is subject to bias. Okay, it is subjective under qualitative. So this time under quantitative, since this is numeric based and uses statistical analysis, the output or the outcome of the research is supposed to be objective. To continue, the first type of data gathering technique under quantitative research is what we call surveys and questionnaires. Since, as mentioned earlier, quantitative research involves number-based or numeric-based data that utilizes statistical analysis. These surveys and questionnaires usually includes a table in order to measure the response of your participants. This usually implements or uses Likert scale. So this, if you can imagine or if you have seen a sample instrument that is classified as survey or questionnaire, it has a specific question on the left side, and then immediately opposite that will be a scale or a table that has a scale so that you can measure the response of your participants. So again, part of survey and questionnaires, as mentioned below, these include structured questions to collect data from a large sample. Example is a survey measuring a student's satisfaction with online learning. So satisfaction, how do you measure satisfaction? So this is where the table and the scale comes in. So it can be, usually they use the 4-point Likert scale. So you have 4, 3, 2, 1, and then there's a specific question on the left side, and then there's a specific verbal description for every numeric value. So if number 4 is VS, very satisfied, satisfied, somewhat satisfied, not satisfied. Okay, so when you read the question, you'd be able to measure your response based on the research that you are conducting. How satisfied, example, how satisfied are you when it comes to online learning? So if we're going to have the general question, so if I am happy with the outcome of the my online learning, I would put a check based on the, depending on the instruction included in the instrument, I would check VS, which represents very satisfied. So this is what we mean by accurately measuring the response of your participants using surveys and questionnaires. Okay, the next data gathering technique under quantitative research is what we call experiments. Okay, these experiments manipulate the variables in order to determine the relationship of these variables. Again, experiments are another type of data gathering technique that is used under quantitative to gather data, and experiments usually establishes the relationship of variables. Okay, so researchers manipulate variables to determine cause and effect relationship of these variables. So we may try to establish the relationship of teachers seminars or trainings, teacher seminars or trainings. This is variable one. If it is directly related to the efficiency of the teachers. Okay, so this will be variable two. Is there a correlation between the seminars attended by teachers to the teacher's efficiency or competency? You can use competency. Okay, so this is what we mean by establishing the relationship of variables using experiments. Okay, so example implementation, aside from what I have mentioned, is testing different teaching methods, the teaching techniques, teaching strategies to see which improves students' performance. So this is another uh, implementation wherein you can use experiment. So if I would like to test a teaching strategy which is based on game-based learning or GBL, game-based learning in teaching mathematics, game-based learning in teaching mathematics, I would use experiments or experimental research. So I would take two classes. The other class will be the GBL group, wherein I will be using game-based learning, versus the other class will be the non-GBL group, which will utilize the conventional method of teaching a specific lesson in mathematics. Okay? So this is, again, will fall under experimental research. So the next data gathering technique under quantitative research is what we call the secondary data analysis or data analysis under quantitative research. So data analysis, like what we mentioned earlier under qualitative research, is trying to analyze or trying to get data from a particular existing data. So example of these data sets are government reports, census, and result of examinations, evaluations, assessments of teachers like RPCRF, OPCRF, or even examination reports, even national examination reports can be used as secondary data analysis. Okay, example or implementation that you can use under secondary data analysis will be analyzing the national exam scores to assess educational trends. So I already mentioned that as part of our example, examination scores. Whether examination scores coming from a local school or even national examination scores. Okay, so the last part under data gathering strategies for quantitative research would be the strength and limitations of these data gathering strategies. So I will just activate my pen for a while before we continue. So again, the first one will be these data gathering strategies produces objective, measurable, and replicable data because it is analyzed using statistical formula. The result of these studies is objective. It can be measured. So if it can be measured, it can be replicable, it can be validated, and it is reliable. It is the same with the second characteristic. So if it allows or uses statistical analysis, the result of this analysis is again objective, measurable, and replicable because of the use of statistical analysis. And the last one is that this particular data gathering strategies can be used for large population, large respondents efficiently, unlike qualitative research. On the other hand, limitations of these data gathering strategies includes the following. Number one, it lacks depth in explaining human or the human behavior side. Okay? Another is that this may not capture participants' emotions definitely. Okay, it does not capture the participants emotions and experiences. And the last one is that this is very a rigid structure that may limit the responses. It only focuses on a specific direction based on the question that is presented. That is why it is rigid. It is not flexible. Okay, it follows a specific direction based on the questions presented in the instrument. Moving on to the next part will be the mixed method. So when we talk about mixed method, this involves both quantitative and qualitative research. So let's dive into the definition of mixed method. Data gathering in mixed method research combines both qualitative and quantitative approaches to gain a more comprehensive understanding of a phenomenon. Okay, so we have already established the concept or idea of mixed method. So when we talk about mixed method, it utilizes both the concepts or idea under quantitative and qualitative research when it comes to data gathering. So this will be reflected in the research instrument. Okay, next. So under mixed method, the first data gathering that can be used is what we call the sequential explanatory. Sequential explanatory. So again, when we talk about data gathering, focus on the instrument that you will be using. So we are talking about the structure of the instrument when we talk about data gathering strategies. So under sequential explanatory, quantitative data is collected first. Quantitative data is collected first. Imagine your instrument having questions on the left side and then immediately on the opposite side, on the right side are the uh, scales, the Likert scale in the form of a table. So this is what we are discussing right now. The first part would be the quantitative, okay, followed by qualitative data to explain the findings. So qualitative data on the latter part or lower part can be in the form of an open-ended question in order to reinforce what was gathered initially. Open-ended questions. Okay? Question or questions. So this may be part 1 and this may be included as part 2. Again, this should be reflected in your instrument. So example is a survey on student stress levels, quantitative, followed by an interview. This is already a combination of the data gathering technique that we've mentioned or discussed earlier. So the first part, as I mentioned, will be in this particular form, which measures the student's stress level and then interviews to understand these experiences. Okay? The stress level is very stressful, VS. So the result for the first part is VS, very stressful. And then on the latter part, you may ask questions pertaining to their reactions, why they answered very stressful on the first part of their research, or whatever they placed as their response on the initial part of the research. So this is what we call sequential explanatory. You initially present the quantitative part and then followed by an interview to understand the first part of your data gathering technique or part of your instrument. The next data gathering strategy for mixed method, I'll just turn on my pen again, is what we call the sequential exploratory. So sequential exploratory is not similar with the first data gathering technique that we discussed, which is sequential explanatory. So sequential exploratory starts with the qualitative part, gathering data in order to be used to construct an instrument which is quantitative. So this is what we call sequential exploratory. It is opposite of explanatory, sequential explanatory, where you have in your instrument, you have the quantitative part, both the quantitative part as discussed earlier, and the second part is the qualitative part in one instrument. Here, under sequential exploratory, you will be gathering data through the use of interview, and then you will be using that data in order to construct a quantitative survey instrument. So qualitative data is collected first to explore a topic, followed by quantitative data to measure the findings. Example, conducting interviews with teachers regarding teaching strategies, the challenges that they encountered, or the challenges encountered by teachers in teaching online or during the online modality. And then after conducting interviews, which is already the qualitative part, the next phase will be to develop a survey instrument on the teaching strategies of teachers. So again, the initial phase, which is the interview, was the basis for the development of the instrument. So this is what we call the sequential exploratory under mixed method, or data gathering strategy under mixed method. Okay, the next data gathering strategy under mixed method is what we call the concurrent triangulation. Concurrent triangulation research data gathering is a mixed method approach used in research where both qualitative and quantitative research data are collected simultaneously. That is why it is called concurrent triangulation, but analyzing separately. They are analyzed separately Okay, they are collected simultaneously but analyzed separately. The purpose of this method is to validate and cross-check findings from different data sources to enhance the credibility and richness of the research result. The process of triangulation helps provide a more comprehensive understanding of a research problem by combining different perspectives. Example of the use of concurrent triangulation is using both surveys and interviews to assess the impact of a new curriculum. So, if you observe, survey is or falls under quantitative research and interview falls under qualitative research. They are simultaneously implemented but are analyzed separately. So this is again to process or to help provide a more comprehensive understanding of a research problem. Okay, the next part of data gathering strategy under mixed method will be the strength and limitations of this particular data gathering strategy. So number one, these data gathering strategies provide both numerical data and in-depth insight, which makes it very reliable. It enhances validity by cross-verifying findings and offers a more complete picture of the research problem. On the other hand, the limitations of these data gathering strategies is that it requires more time, resources, including financial resources and expertise. Another limitation of these data gathering strategies is that it is very complicated, complex to analyze because it requires both quantitative and qualitative analysis, which again is different from one another. When you analyze data in under quantitative, you use statistical analysis, and under qualitative, you have data analysis and integrated in both data types. So after analyzing it separately, you have to generalize the findings. The next part will be the best practices in data gathering. So what should you bear in mind when you are in this part or process of your research paper? So regardless of the research method that you are using, following best practices ensures high quality data collection. So what are these? Number one, clearly define your research objective, the goal or the direction of your research. Make sure that you are focused on the direction of your research to ensure that the data collection method is aligned with your research question. Again, the instrument data gathering strategy that you are using or you will be using should be aligned with the research question that has already been pre-approved in your study. The next one is select the right participants, the proper respondents. That is always an issue during the defense. Who are your respondents? Who are your participants? Are they the reliable respondents to answer the questions in your study? Would they be able to provide the right response, the right data, the right information in order to accomplish or in order to reach the goal of your study? So use appropriate sampling techniques, which is what we are discussing right now, the data gathering strategies or techniques to avoid bias. Okay, the next is make sure that you consider ethical standards. Ensure ethical considerations in gathering data. Obtain informed consent. These are examples of what should be considered under ethical standards, which is informed consent. Protect the privacy of the participants, the information that they will be providing. Make sure that you assure the respondents, the participants, that the information that they will be giving is protected, and maintain confidentiality. If they want to hide their identity, whether individual or institution, make sure that you implement that in your study. So instead of mentioning the name of the school or schools. You can use school A, school B, school C, or instead of mentioning the sections of a class, you use class 1, class 2, class 3. Okay, so that is one way in order to maintain confidentiality under uh, the process of gathering data. The next one is pilot test before you actually implement. Okay, pilot test your instrument or your tools. Test questions, interview guides, and before the full implementation should be pilot tested in order to refine questions. If there are still questions that need to be revised or paraphrased, it will come out during your pilot testing. The next one is make sure that you maintain data accuracy. Keep detailed records, transcriptions, and backups to avoid data loss. There is no room for mistake when conducting research. That is why it is important that you always keep a record, keep a backup of your transcripts of your manuscript during the conduct of your research. We are on the last part of our discussion. Choosing the right data gathering strategy depends on your research method and the objective goal or direction of your study. Qualitative methods provide depth. Quantitative method offers measurable insights, and mixed methods combine the strength of both. Understanding these approaches will help you conduct a more reliable and meaningful research. Thank you very much, everyone. And again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Doc Ed Padama. And if you have any questions, you can write them under this video, under the comment section, and I will get back to your question. And make sure you click the like and share this video to your colleagues, to your friends. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe and God bless. I'll see you again in our next video. Bye, everyone.